Your district magistrate is overburdened with the responsibilities
Yes, my lord. Yes.
of him being the head of the district.
My lord, that's
So
that's true,
it
my
may be
lord.
difficult for him to decide all the appeals on merits. He may do the formality of disposal of appeals, but it may be difficult for him to go into all those aspects and decide the appeals.
The head of the government, uh, I'll take it to the Honorable CM and see whether we can
No,
incorporate the provisions.
otherwise the High Court is being overburdened
We understand,
because
my
of these
lord.
matters,
We
unnecessary.
understand. We understand, my lord, and we appreciate the concern of this Honorable Court. We will definitely discuss and.
It's systemic failure. And just think of a situation. It is too expensive for a client to approach the High Court
Yes, my lord. Yes.
than to approach the district magistrate. And still they are approaching the High Court. Yes. Please
Appeal has been disposed of. Lord. Appeal has been disposed of.
His appeal has been disposed of. But why are we facing so many of cases? When you have time limit prescribed for disposal of appeal, there can be two situations. Your officer may not be having sufficient time to dispose of the appeal. Therefore, appeal which is to be disposed of within 30 days, the appeals are pending for 2 years or even more. Then if you cannot, the collector cannot manage, you are the head of the department, you can make some alternative arrangement. You can, now these days your departments are running they are very quick in taking decisions. They can appoint some appellate authority. Otherwise, every person approaching this court seeking and on the plea that the remedy of appeal is not that quick.
My lord, we have taken note of the concerns of this Honorable Court. This appeal in question has been disposed.
Forget this appeal.
And I have instructed all the district magistrates who are the appellate authorities, as well as the revisional authorities who are the commissioners, to dispose the petitions within the time limit prescribed in the control order. But this suggestion, my lord, of creating some alternative arrangements for hearing of appeals and revisions, we'll take note of that, my lord, and I'll discuss with the head of the government. I'll take it to the Honorable CM and see whether we can incorporate the provisions.
Otherwise the High Court is being overburdened
We understand,
because of these matters, unnecessary.
We understand, my lord, and we appreciate the concern of this Honorable Court. We will definitely discuss and see whether we can manage by some alternative arrangements for hearing.
No, otherwise what we can do is, in each and every case when we find that appeal has remained pending for more than the period prescribed under the Act, we will impose cost.
We have noted the concern, my lord. We have already issued the instructions, my lord. I think because of the pandemic and restrictions, the courts were not functioning normally.
Not only pandemic and restrictions, your district magistrate is overburdened with the responsibilities
Yes, my lord. Yes.
of him being the head of the district.
My lord, that's
So
true,
it
my
may
lord.
be difficult for him to decide all the appeals on merits. He may do the formality of disposal of appeals, but it may be difficult for him to go into all those aspects and decide the appeals.
We'll certainly think of some alternative, my lord. We'll certainly think of some, my lord. That will mean an amendment in the control order. We'll do that, my lord, if necessary.
So
In the meanwhile, instructions have been issued and we have made it very clear to them.
we will keep this matter pending. We will keep this matter pending for one reason, that pendency of this writ application will expedite your decision making process. This is in the interest of your department, in the interest of the government, that you proceed with some sense of expedition.
My lord, may I make a submission, my lord?
Yes.
I'll request the Honorable Court to dispose this petition and we'll definitely take on record the concerns of the Honorable
we will
Court.
not do that. We will not do that because we are overburdened. We are overburdened. We are dealing with SC Act matters and other important matters we are not able to take up. And the plea which is being taken invariably on behalf of the petitioners in all these matters: 1, violation of principles of natural justice, no opportunity of hearing given, then no reason assigned, and 2, appeal has been filed, appeal is pending, then there is revisional authority or commissioner. We don't know what the commissioner does. And we are also of the view that let the commissioner make a review of all the cases which are pending before the appellate authorities and call all the records of those cases and decide revision. If the appellate authority, it is difficult for the appellate authority to decide, let the revisional authority do it. This is what the control order envisages.
My lord, that would be an appropriate direction from this honorable court. If the commissioners are directed to review, because they are also the administrative seniors.
So if you fail to take a decision, we will surely direct.
My lord, we will definitely take concern of this and we'll try to make an alternative arrangement in case the collectors
we are worried over the
we understand,
of dockets in the
appreciate
court.
The concern of the honorable
unnecessary. Had there been some dispute, some point to be adjudicated upon by this court, that would have been a different matter. But just, my lord, this appeal is pending for 2 years. An appeal has not been decided.
The situation will change, my lord, that much I can assure you.
We are not blaming the officers, or we are not blaming the department, but somewhere there is systemic failure. And just think of a situation. It is too expensive for a client to approach the High Court
Yes, my lord, yes.
than to approach the district magistrate. And still they are approaching the High Court.
Of course, my lord, they will come to this honorable court because we have seen in these matters that even after the revisional jurisdiction has been exhausted and a reasoned order has been passed, these petitioners do come to the honorable court because that's their legal right.
That is the appropriate stage when they should come. If they can demonstrate that there is some illegality, we do interfere. But after exhausting alternative remedy. But they cannot exhaust alternative remedy because you are not taking any decision.
My lord, my only humble submission will be to dispose this matter with some instructions.
No. Sorry, we will not do that. We will not dispose it off. Let us see, what do you do? Because this writ petition was filed, when was the appeal filed?
Last, I think, 2020.
Last 2020, the appeal was filed.
August 2020.
And when the appeal has been disposed of?
18th of this month.
18th of this
4 days
month.
back. 4 days back.
After this
Yes, my
court
lord.
passed.
And after the instructions I issued to the collector.
Had the writ petition been not filed, you would not have, your district magistrate would
That's
not
true,
have
my
taken
lord. That's true, my lord. That's why I have asked the district magistrate.
Therefore, you can rather take aid of this court to expedite, to introduce an effective system for disposal of appeals. Otherwise, see the plight of the litigants. The poor PDS dealers, they are approaching High Court straight away. And we dismiss their appeal, their writ applications on the ground that they have alternative remedy of appeal, and that alternative remedy is virtually remediless.
The order in this case, particularly, my lord, from this honorable court,
Yes.
has been taken very seriously by both the appellate and
Take it
revisional
seriously,
authorities.
let us know.
Yes, my
Let
lord.
us know something has
So I
happened.
think even some instructions can be passed, but I rest it to this honorable court for decide further. No?
Yes,
But
if we require your presence in future, again we will ask you to be present. But our intention is not to blame any of even the district magistrate, the appellate authority. Don't know what the revisional authority. Yes, the revisional authority has failed, because the revisional authority ought to have examined how many appeals are pending, and if the appeals are pending, that power is there with the revisional authority. That power is not being exercised.
there have been cases where even the revisions have been pending for long, my lord. That's true. That's
Forget
true.
revision.
Yes.
Forget revision. We are saying that if an appeal is pending for more than the period which is prescribed, the commissioner has the jurisdiction to call for the records and to decide. If the commissioner has more free time, then he can pass order.
My lord, will it suffice if we direct the commissioners to review all the cases?
We don't know. You decide what is to be
at
done.
least one chance to the commissioners to rectify the situation. my
We are giving you enough chance. We are giving you. See, you can tell the government that we are going to take up this matter very seriously, because These matters have overburdened the dockets of the High Court. Unnecessary. Every day, and at times we feel very bad about it. That we are dealing with EC Act matters. My license has been cancelled, and my appeal I cannot prefer. And we do the formality of asking them to prefer appeal. This is how we are disposing of the matters. And there are matters, important matters pending. So that is one way, that may be one way of the department to make the functioning of the High Court adversely affected.
No, my lord, that's
The
not
High Court is
intention.
being dysfunctional because of such litigations.
That's not intention at all, my lord.
Let them have this confidence that if they, against the order of the licensing authority, go before the appellate authority, they will go justice. Their appeals will be decided within the time which has been prescribed under the control order. How can you violate? How can you breach? And if it is impossible for you to comply with, come out with solution, come out with some scheme, do something.
We'll take note of, my
Therefore, we
lord.
will see. We'll see. We will pass order tomorrow.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my lord. My humble submission is that to give some instructions to the commissioners to review the cases,
We
because they
will-
are the controlling authorities of the district magistrates also.
Mr. Secretary, have you got the act with you?
I have gone through the act.
You see section 32.
Yes, my lord.
There is a time limit for the licensee.
Yes, my lord.
There is a time limit for the appellate authority. There is a time limit for the revisional authority.
Yes, my lord.
And the revisional authority is to exercise its jurisdiction on one of the conditions, that failure to exercise jurisdiction by any other authority.
True, my lord. True.
So when does that occasion arise, failure to exercise jurisdiction? The moment the appellate authority is
Exhaust the time limit, yes,
then
my lord.
what remains?
So we will issue instruction again, my lord, to all the divisional commissioners. They are also the controlling authorities of the district magistrates,
So
as well as
therefore, if
the
that
divisional
time
court.
limit is, the moment that time limit
Yes, ma'am.
finishes, it should be brought to a quite
Yes,
a
my lord. Yes, yes, my lord.
some kind of, come out with something on that ground, incorporating all these provisions, some kind of guideline instruction, that will only streamline things, because apart from burdening the court, the beneficiaries of the PDS system suffer, because they have to be tagged with the whole people of the cancelled license has to be tagged with the other, inconvenience to the beneficiaries, and then you handling by one PDS of two PDS load, all these things.
My lord, even now there is a provision that after the district collector, who are the appellate authorities, exhaust the 60-day limit, there is a revision which may be filed by way of.
That we have
but
seen,
that's
that
a
is
legal
why
right.
we are asking you.
We'll enforce that, my lord. We'll enforce my
That is
That's
why
what-
we are asking you, just
Yes.
for that a revision can be filed, but
Yes.
then even that does not yield any result. That is the experience that we are having.
So two things immediately, my lord. One, is express instructions from the highest level to the commissioners and the collectors to stick to the time limits.
Yes.
Two, instructions to the commissioners to.
Enforce your own provisions.
Yes, my lord. Yes. Precisely.
Enforce your own provisions.
Precisely. That would, I think, change the situation, my lord.
Yes, that should, we hope so.
You will have to work out some modality, some practicable. Otherwise,
We
If
don't
you-
intend to pass any order for legislation, but it is already there. Your control
ma'am.
order is there.
Yes.
If you can work out something, then this is the opportunity where things can be streamlined for the entire state.
Yes, my lord.
and you can have the aid of the orders of this court.
Noted, my lord. We'll do that. We'll do that.
So have you filed your affidavit?
Yes, I have filed my personal affidavit also, my lord.
When? Today?
Even the district magistrate has filed his apology with an counter affidavit.
Mr. Secretary, we appreciate that there may be difficulties for the district magistrate dealing with these so many matters, appellate matters. But if there is a provision under which the appeal has to be disposed of within 30 days, That he will have to do.
My Lord will definitely communicate the concerns of this Honorable Court, the direction of this Honorable Court would like to. I think that will change the situation, my Lord. No authority will try to be on the wrong side of law and the direction of the Honorable Court, my Lord. And will also enforce the revisional provision, my Lord.
Have you filed your personal affidavit?
Yes, yes, my Lord, I have filed.
There are 2 affidavits filed.
There are 2 affidavits.
All. What is your name, please? What is your name?
Vinay Kumar, my Lord.
Mr. Vinay Kumar, the Principal Secretary, Food and Civil Supplies Department.
I am Secretary, my Lord, I am Secretary.
Secretary.
Yes, my Lord.
What have you? Secretary, Food and Civil Supplies, Government of Bihar is personally present in compliance of our previous order. Full stop. He submits that 2 counter affidavits have been filed in this case. They have not been filed, Your Lordship. Are going to be filed. One shown by himself, and the other shown by the district magistrate of the concerned district. So stop. The said counter affidavits are not there on record. So stop. Next. In response to our concern over pendency of huge number of appeals before the collectors under the BTPDS Control Order 2016, Mr. Vinay Kumar has submitted that the department is taking all possible measures to ensure that the appeals and reasons against orders passed by the licensing authority under BTPDS control order are 2016 are expeditiously decided. So stop. We will.
So for this case, it will not
In the
appeal has
meanwhile,
already.
within 2 weeks, Mr. Secretary, you can
I'll
inform.
file an affidavit, my Lord. I'll take the concerns of the Honorable Court, get things done, and then I'll file an affidavit, my Lord. Obliged, thank you.
Much obliged.